It's funny when all the pieces don't add up. You look at the Pentagon when it was first struck. No 757 there. You look at Shanksville, Pennsylvania. No 757 there. You find out that the FBI has to tell you that Barbara Olson didn't call Ted Olson. Why would Ted Olson lie? Was it fictitious? You know, we find out that Larry Silverstein makes $7 billion and nobody asks questions. 9/11, did you make money on 9/11? We got a clock in Sharon. That guy didn't make money on 9/11. But all this 9/11 stuff, boy, doesn't add up, huh? For an hour and 40 minutes, we can't intercept one plane? NORAD stands down. How did the guy in the cave in Afghanistan, I remember he dug the tunnel all the way under the ocean and to put the explosives in the buildings, because now you have the smoking gun evidence of the explosives, okay? Peer-reviewed, but still you do nothing. You keep on buying the lies. So now they're spying on you. Now they allow torture in America. They allow using the army against the citizens. The president now has the power to use the Canadian army against the citizens. And meanwhile, the globalists, every day, I mean, look at your countries turning fascist every single day. They use private paramilitary groups in the United States. Why is Blackwater changing their name to XE? Why don't you know this? Here, how about a little, we'll give you a little bit of better bad news on this show.
The subject of forbidden questions is currently under consideration.
What happened at Ground Zero?
Welcome to Better Bad News. Due to the new popularity of online video, each day more and more people see a 47-story high-rise building collapse from several camera angles.
World Trade Center building number 7 collapsed.
Building 7 is a very strange case. No plane hit Building 7 at the World Trade Center.
How could anybody have believed the official story? I know what happened to Building 7. Building 7 collapsed out of sympathy for the other 2 buildings. It's like when guys get a belly bump during their wife's pregnancy.
Building 7 destroyed itself. That's what happened.
I don't care about the collapse of Building 7. I want to know if unmarried couples can have belly bumps too.
Can't you see what's in front of you?
I mean, how can you see anything other than a controlled demolition?
That's a forbidden question.
The panel is way, way over the line.
What happened at Ground Zero?
The subject of forbidden questions is currently under consideration.
We did not attack ourselves on 9/11. We have trusted allies to do that for us.
The question on collapse issues has to do with the laws of physics.
Okay, but in wartime, the laws of physics are suspended.
You never suspect a thing like that. I want to believe it didn't happen this way.
Who was in charge of security there at the World Trade Center?
I thought we agreed not to discuss the president's brother.
The president's brother, a family member.
Yes, the president's brother, Marvin Pierce Bush.
You forgot to mention Wirt. Cousin Wirt and Marvin Bush were both principal partners on the board of directors of Securicom.
Securicom, a security firm owned and operated by the president's brother, Marvin Bush, in charge of security at the World Trade Center on September 11th.
The public can barely think when it's in a state of fear, like Hamlet, when he learns that it was an inside job.
An inside job?
Hamlet is he's too stunned to act. Like us.
Just like Hamlet, too stunned to act.
Marvin Pierce Bush, in charge of security at the World Trade Center on September 11th. It was all coordinated by a 7th century religious fanatic operating out of a cave in Afghanistan.
When is that supposed to happen?
We attack ourselves.
On September 11th.
explosion. Warren Street because of the secondary explosion. We've got numerous people covered with dust from the secondary explosion. And we got another explosion on the tower, 1013. Number 2 has had a major explosion and what appears to be a complete collapse surrounding the entire area. Who's involved in the secondary explosion at Tower 1K? I've got 5. Floor by floor, it's popping out. It was if they had detonated. Yeah, detonated. They were planned to take down a building. Boom, 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 boom. All the way down. I was watching it.
There's a little bit of better bad news for you. Once again, you're being lied to constantly. I'll ask you, do you feel like you're being lied to? Do you feel like all this extra security stuff could be based on a lie when all the science, all the math, all the stories turn into be lies? What happens when someone lies to you constantly? They lied to you about all the financial stuff. Remember after 9/11, go out and shopping, get out there, go shopping. And meanwhile, all that credit bubble created by a private banking cartel, now you're being told that we're going to take your tax money and your grandchildren's tax money to give it to bankers so they can pay off derivatives of foreign banks? How much will you put up with? FEMA's building camps to house people. Isn't that what Hitler did? Geez, they're spying on Americans. They're turning the satellites in to stare at, to watch you. They're putting cameras on your traffic intersections. They're tracking your phone calls. The World Wide the World Wide Web, right? Tracks everything you do. When will you start caring? Watch more shows. Enjoy it, because the real story, we're going to tell you where the money goes, and if you follow the money, you still find the truth. Now follow this, quote, bailout. It's the biggest ripoff. Yeah, the guy who used to head the private banking cartel, the New York Federal Reserve, is now your Treasury Secretary. Hello? Okay. Paulson was from Goldman Sachs. Who benefited from the, quote, bailouts? Goldman Sachs. Who did AIG give the money to pay off? Goldman Sachs. Why did JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs change on the first bailout bill, change from investment banks to bank holding companies? Why? Why don't you pay attention? Why don't you care about your children? Why won't you work to save this republic? What are you too... See, I could get mad at you. I could ask you if you're too stinking lazy. Do you not care? Are you too busy watching reality television? Are you being programmed so much by the media that you don't do any of your own research? You don't find out for yourself? And when you're lied to, you think there's nothing you can do? What if Gandhi thought like you? What happens when good men do nothing? So I'm looking at the lens. I want you to go look in a mirror. And I want you to practice your excuses. Matter of fact, practice that, videotape, and send it to me, and I'll put it on the show. These are my viewers saying how they did nothing. They were lied to constantly. They knew they were being lied to, but they couldn't make a difference. One person can't save the republic. So here, I'm going to finish up with a little bit of oath takers for you. This is where, you know, for our military and stuff, remember, you took an oath to preserve, protect, and defend the United States Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I'm here to tell you the District of Criminals have enemies that are domestically taking away your republic. Will you do something? Thanks for watching.
In 1951, when Fritz Thyssen died in Argentina, Union Banking Corporation was liquidated by the U.S. government, and Prescott Bush received $1.5 million for his holdings in his Nazi business, and that was the beginning of the Bush family fortune for all intents and purposes.